Hi, my name is Ryan. I'm a therapist in Washington State, and I wanted to talk a little bit about autism. I have noticed that many, especially young people, tend to believe that they have autism, and this is a number that seems to be disproportionate, a number that exceeds the prevalence in the DSM-5. I think that there are a variety of reasons for this, and I think that part of that is that many normal behaviors overlap with autism spectrum disorder. So for example, you might struggle with eye contact. It can be intimidating just looking at someone right in their pupils, especially if you spend a lot of time online, especially if you don't interact with people very much, especially if you're dealing with just some general anxiety, right? That can just be a generally kind of scary, awkward experience. Again, that doesn't automatically determine that you have autism if you struggle with eye contact. Or, for example, if you struggle to have a back-to-back conversation with people, you don't like small talk. Somebody starts talking to you about how their daughter is in college in California and next to you on the airplane, and you're like, I don't know what to say to that or how to respond. Um, that's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that you struggle with kind of back and forth reciprocal communication. Could just be that the conversation is awkward or that you didn't connect. So that's something to keep in mind. Another thing that people commonly report is that they have these very rigid routines, and that they are disturbed if that routine is broken. I think it's important to highlight as well that routines can be part of just normal functioning, including in those who do not have autism spectrum disorder. So let's say that you have a nighttime ritual where you just warm up cocoa and you slip into your favorite pajamas. That is okay. You can certainly do that without having autism spectrum disorder. You can have or do certain things repeatedly, routinely, without it necessarily meaning that you have a diagnosable condition. For example, let's say that you like to simplify your wardrobe and you wear black shirts. Again, totally fine. May not mean that you have autism. Just because you like black shirts and you don't like, having to choose your outfits, that's okay. You might feel really passionate about something. There might be a social cause. I don't know, let's say that you love taking care of stray cats and you know so much about stray cats, their anatomy, the different breeds. Beautiful. So you might just have a passion, and that might not be a hyperfixation. You might not be super intently fixated on this subject to where it's hard for you to switch to a different subject and express interest in other things. That's okay. Again, there's overlap between autism spectrum disorder and just regular, normal human experiences, and those who don't have autism. I think that's something that's key that many people might miss, especially those who are intent on self-diagnosing themselves. And that's, in order to qualify for an autism diagnosis, symptoms must be clinically significant. You must have clinically significant impairments in particular domains like the workplace or social relationships. And so what that means is if you struggle with eye contact and yet you're still able to connect with people and form relationships with them, then that's okay. It's not causing you clinically significant disturbance in that area. It means that you have a challenge within that area, but it's not clinically significant because you're still kind of engaging in normal, healthy behaviors there. You're forming friendships. Or, for example, it might be that you struggle with small talk and you're working in sales or something like that, but you're still able to close deals and connect with people, but you're just maybe a bit more direct. And again, that doesn't meet the criteria because you're fulfilling your duties in the workplace, even if you struggle with that back and forth communication and it's not your cup of tea. So just some tidbits there, some thoughts. I hope that that reassures some people that you might not have autism, you might not be neurodivergent, you might just have your little quirks or things that you need to work through. You might have other conditions such as social anxiety or generalized anxiety disorder, and that is okay. There might be something else out there that describes your symptoms a bit better, and you might not even have a mental health diagnosis. You might just be human, and that's it. That is okay. Let me know your thoughts about this.